Hi guys, good morning. So I came up here to do something completely different than what I'm actually doing right now. And I don't know if this happens to you guys as well, but I was I was up here and this yarn that I've been having sit over in this corner here that you guys see, not the the sage and the beige one. Those ones are for a different project that I'm working on, but literally this stripy yarn that I had sitting right here, and then this plum-ish color, and then the red over there have literally been staring at me for weeks, and I just want them off my desk. So what I started doing, without realizing that my whole plan this morning got completely debowed, because I was going to be doing some admin computer work, Etsy updates and things like that, my brain decided, hey, you know what would be more fun? To probably attempt to wrestle with some yarn. That sounds fun. So anyway, I've done up about 8 rows on my Sentro 48 pin with this colorway. I picked it up because I was like, oh, I haven't seen this one before, and I thought it would look cool. This one's called the Moody Mosaic by I Love This Yarn. It's going through the machine well right now. So I figured I would just pop on and start recording because I was like, oh, well, maybe some people also want to see me using my Sentro machines, and I figured if I'm up here and we're going to do this, might as well see how it comes out, and then if anything happens, we'll be together, and it'll be great. Okay, I'm gonna go start cranking on my machine again. So I guess wish me luck, knock on wood, do all the things you need to do, but I'm hoping this goes, all 3 of them. I'm hoping all 3 go through really well. What I'm working on are beanies. I normally do beanies first, and then if I have any left over from that, then I switch over to the Sentro 40 to do the headbands. But we'll see. I think we'll be able to, we might not, depending on how the tension and everything comes together with this yarn. I normally do hats first. If I like the way the colorway is and I don't have enough left, I go back to the store and buy another one and then do 2 headbands out of the one skein. So typically can get 2 headbands if you're using Sentro machines also out of the I Love This Yarn that is at the 5-ounce skein. If you're doing a, I guess, double layer beanie, which is what I do because they're warmer, you can get at least 1 hat out of this, and then you'll have a little extra left over. If the yarn, for whatever reason, is very, I call it slouchy, very loose, so like the plum one that I showed you, I didn't do a brim on that one because that one was working up to be like just very loose-ish, I guess, I don't know. I was able to get obviously a headband out of that one and a hat because of the row count that I did. So on the plum one, I only did 100 rows without the brim. It's still double layered. So 100 rows, still double layered. And then today I'm going to try to do a full 140 rows with a brim. So I'm going to try to do 140 rows with this one. If it's turning out to be a little more loose, we'll just stop at 100 and it just won't be a brim. And it'll just be more of a slouchy hat. People with smaller heads could put a brim on it. It's just, I guess, preference, your style or whatever. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna start cranking. Wish us luck. Made 140 rows, no issues. That's amazing. Normally I run into some issues or drop stitches or anything like that. It's working up really pretty. So I'm gonna pull this off the machine. That takes a little while, so I don't really want you guys to sit there and like watch that, because you've already just watched me like in the last 15 minutes crank out 140 rows. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll show you the whole tube in the next clip. All right, guys, here's the whole tube. This is before we turned it into a hat, but like, look at that. Look at that colorway. I know when I put this together, I'm probably gonna be like, I probably should have stopped at the 100 rows, because I think this is gonna have a little more stretch than I was expecting. And I did check it at 100 rows. I think you guys saw that in the previous like run through clip. Maybe not, maybe I sped it up too fast. I don't know. I did stop to look at it and just be like, is this gonna be a slouchy beanie, or do we think this is gonna be an actual, like, no kidding, we've got, you know, a nice amount of stretch, but not too much that's gonna make it like, you know, I don't know, a biggie hat. Anyway, that's the tube. I'm excited about that one. Typically I would sit and like pull the strings, make it into the beanie right now, but I kind of want to keep going with the other yarns that I have over there, just to keep riding the Sentro's working wave. If you are a Sentro owner, user, you understand that there are certain days where the yarn goes through very nice, and then there are some days where that machine just, its whole purpose in life is just to fight you the entire way. So it's not fighting me right now, so I want to jump over to the other yarn and get that one done. If you can hear the plane, that's exciting. Anyway, we're gonna do that. Oh, actually, hang on. So this is what's left of that skein. So there's not much. I wouldn't even, there's not much here at all. So what I end up doing is I try to gauge if there's going to be even enough to do even half of a headband. I think there might be. I would just pair this with like probably black, because I don't think I have a teal blue or a purple that realistically match those colors really well. So we'll figure that out. I have also played around with the idea of potentially just doing like a scrappy headband. It'd be like really limited edition, because I wouldn't be able to make those colorways happen that way again. But yeah, that's typically what's left. And normally I put it on my little, you can't see it, I have a yarn winder right here that I'll just wind it up into a cake. Okay, let's be responsible adults. We'll do that first, and then I'll start on my next one, because this is going to drive me nuts if this turns into like a little pile of yarn barf later, and I have to deal with like all of the knots and tangles and things. So I'm going to do that quickly, and then I'll grab the other skein, and we hope that it keeps working. All right, I'll see you in the next clip. All right, I just wanted to say that we've started the next one, and I realized I never showed you the colorway. This is the colorway currently. This one is from I Love This Yarn as well, and this one is called Winter Flowers. So far, fingers crossed, it's going through well. I have it on the medium tension. It is a little tougher than the last one. I had the last one on the tightest tension, and it seemed to like that one better. So we're 11 rows in on medium tension, so I'm hoping this one will go through perfectly. So I guess I'll record this for a little bit, probably not the whole thing, and then I'll just show you I'll just show you the tube at the end. How about that? Because then it's the same process as the last one. Just gonna crank. If anything happens, I'll pop back on, let you know if it's frustrating or not, and then we'll just go from there. All right, bringing you to a new angle so that you can actually see what is happening here. But we have some dropped stitches, as you can see. So particularly like here, they're all over the place. And I could already tell that this was probably going to be a bit of a tougher one to get through the machine, just because it was not already liking the medium tension that I was running it on. So I'm gonna undo it and see if running it on the loose tension will actually help. If not, then we're just gonna chalk this one up to try again later. That's what I'm saying. Like some yarn brands, even if they are the same, don't run through the machines the same for some reason. So I'm going to do that, undo this, and then put it on the loose tension. If that doesn't work, then we're just going to move on, and I'm just not going to fight it because I don't want to get frustrated today with it. So, all right, I will do that, and I will report back in a little while. All right, as expected, that one does not want to work correctly, so you'll see that I've already caked the yarn that I had been using and rolled it up, and I'm going to set it to the side. On the loose tension, it was going through, but it just looked terrible. Like it was going through fine, but like the stitches, they didn't look nice at all, and I'm not about that. So maybe that one will be a better one for my 40 pin. I don't know. We'll pull that one down later and maybe we'll go through that. But I have one more skein that I would like to try, and if that one doesn't work up nicely, then I think I'm just going to be done working with the Sentros. I found that it's better to just be done with them than keep trying to force it. So I'm happy that I, at least right now, have gotten the one hat through, and then it'll be a win if I can get this other one. So that's just how it goes with these Sentro machines. That's the probably unpublished truth that a lot of people say, or if you're on like some of the Sentro knitting machine like forums and stuff like that, some people will talk about it, but I don't know if enough people talk about it in terms of like YouTube videos. It's like, oh, look at my hat that I just finished, no issues, right? No, I have issues with my Sentros probably, I'd say 50% of the time. So yeah, that's a reasonable estimation. I think about 50, it's always a 50-50 if I'm going to come up into my studio and we're going to have success making all of the hats out of the yarn that I want to make, or if we're just going to have a day where we just fight the yarn the entire way. So it is what it is. It's not a put off on these machines. They're temperamental. So that one is a no. That one was the I Love This Yarn red tweed. I guess I could show you the colorway here. I just thought it was going to be really cool, but it's fighting me, so I'm not going to deal with it. So I've managed to do one hat. I'll put that one together, I'll put the machine away, and I will just move on with my day because I'm not gonna get frustrated about something like that. And this was supposed to be like me doing admin work on the computer, so you know, it's a win. I made a hat. Yay. Hey guys, so good morning. I realized in my last clip I kind of just jumped into what I was supposed to be doing for the day. I think I was telling you it needed to be like Etsy admin stuff, and I ended up doing like Sentro stuff. But I also feel like I just neglect to inform you of the things that I'm working on when I turn the camera off in the evening when I've concluded whatever we have gotten up to that day. And I feel a little guilty, and I feel like I need to let you know about some stuff that I've been working on. So recently, my hyperfixation project, as I told you, I think in the very first vlog, is my mesh market bags. But I really think it comes down to, I'm just trying to find the cotton yarn that I like the most to make those bags out of. And right now, realistically, I do like the Crafter Secret Cotton. I like the Lily Sugar and Cream yarns. And I think those are the two main ones. Oh, I like the Loops and Thread also. Those three are tried and true. I like them. They work up really well. Another skein of yarn that I got, I think this last week, or one of the times that I went over to Hobby Lobby, is they have a Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel 100% cotton yarn. And I was like, you know, I kind of want to try it. I only want to buy one thing of it, which is good because it comes in a nice big, like, I think 5 or 6 ounce skein, which is more than enough to do my small mesh market bags, because when I do the small mesh ones, I use 3 of the Crafter's Secret Cotton ones, and I think I do 3 of the Lily, yep, I do 3 for each set, and they come out great. But anyway, so long story, I was trying to put together and see if I wanted to test out that cotton or that yarn, and I put together this bag, which is called Yarn Bee Nut Bag Nibbles, I think is what they called the colorway. it worked up really nice. I don't necessarily like how it decided to, I guess, color pool, just because there was a lot more yarn and I need more of a color change than what this was giving me. And also I feel like it's a little soft. I mean, it still does the same thing. It's just a very soft, flexible, very light bag. But for me personally, this won't be one that I continue with, and that's just the real truth of it. I personally just did not like the way that it worked up into this type of bag. If Yarn Bee ever comes out with smaller cotton skeins, I think the problem was it was just one big skein, and they had big sections of color that just didn't really work well for me. I had no issues with the yarn otherwise. It didn't fray or break or do anything weird like that. I just really wasn't into how it actually worked up. This one is listed on my Etsy. I called it the limited release or limited edition Yarn Bee one. I called it Nutmeg. I kept it the same. I didn't have any creative energy at that point in time to come up with a new name for this particular colorway. But again, yes, this one will not be one that I think that I continue with in the shop. If you absolutely fall in love with it and it's something that you want me to work up, I could probably be talked into it, but I will not be reaching for this yarn when I go over to Hobby Lobby. And I'm glad, because it's trial and error, and I'm glad that I know that this is not something that I personally like. But more in that vein, another yarn that I wanted to try out that I've heard, and I don't know if this is necessarily a new yarn. Like, I recently, as I said, got back into crochet. There's a lot of people that are really into, like, oh my gosh, new yarn just dropped today kind of a thing, and they go out and buy it. I have no idea if this yarn is new. Anyway, what I'm talking about is the Karen All Day cotton yarn, and I'm looking at my little pile that I have over here because I was perusing Amazon, and they had the yarn on there, and they were selling a pack of 3 for I think $11.98 or something like that, under 12 bucks. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should give it a shot. So I went over to Yarn Inspirations just to make sure that it's like the price comparison between the two was actually either the same or I was getting a better deal. On Yarn Inspirations, they were selling one skein for $6.99, so getting 3 for basically 12 bucks. Yep, that's a steal. So I picked some up. Anyway, I picked up this colorway, the Karen All Day Cotton, and this one's called the Starling. It's a really pretty green blue, almost light lavender color that runs through it. I'm calling this one, when I show you the bag, it's going to be called Emerald. I'm not calling it Starling. I really love this yarn. I thought it worked up beautifully. I thought it looked great. This one is coming to Etsy. I will not lie, I almost want to keep this one just for myself. And I know I have more than enough yarn to make another one. But like this colorway, I don't even think my camera's going to do it justice at this point. This is so cool. I absolutely love this colorway, and I love this yarn. I love the way that it worked up. It's really nice. It's got, you know, a little bit of structure, still obviously has a bunch of stretch to it. It will be a yarn that I continue to use. And on that note, continuing to use, I haven't opened them yet because I wasn't sure if I was gonna have to return them to Amazon. I just couldn't help myself when I saw the colorways. So I got another one. This one is called Snow on the Beach. And I am absolutely excited. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the colorway very well inside this little plastic bag, but I am excited to make one now that I know that it's going to work up the way that it did with that previous bag. And then I got another one because I couldn't help myself. And they're, I guess, I don't know if they're on sale or I'm just being bamboozled into thinking that they were. But I got another one. I'm trying to see if I can get the... Okay, this one is called Morning Air. And I know it's probably not going to pick up very well on the camera, but I'm really happy with this yarn. And because it came in a 3-pack, these are 3.5 ounce skeins. I used one whole one of these and just a little bit of the extra skeins, so like basically 1.5. So I think reasonably, I haven't done it yet because this is a new set of colors, but I think that I could reasonably get 2 bags out of these 3 skeins. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say right now 2. I don't know if I could get 3. That would be a future Ashley problem, but I like the way this one worked up. So if you're looking for another cotton yarn, I want to say this one is a relatively new yarn to the market. If you're looking for another cotton yarn, give this one a try. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Anyway, that aside, I wanted to show you the other mesh market bags that I've actually put together in the evening after the camera's off, the whole reason for this clip. And I put together this one. This one's called Black Ice. This is the Crafter's Secret Cotton one. It's just, you know, an ombre black. I just thought it was nice, so it was calling to me, so I put that one together. And then in, I think my recent studio vlog, the one where I basically just, I guess, went over all the colorways of yarn, and I told you guys that I didn't know if I could get another one of the spring, I think it was called spring something or other. But the spring one, look at it. This one actually turned out way cooler than I thought it was going to. And this one reminds me more of like, I don't know, maybe mermaid. I'd have to look up what the colorway is. I have the leftover extra skein downstairs in the living room sitting next to my chair to remind me that, hey, put together a mug rug to go with this so we can use up the excess yarn that we get when we have leftovers from this. But this colorway, so exciting. I'm thinking about calling it a mermaid. I don't know, it just reminds me of mermaid colors, so maybe I'll call that mermaid. If I like the color that's on the yarn, I will make sure that I put it in my Etsy description. I try to link that at the bottom anyway, so that if you're going out to buy yarn, you're like, ooh, I like the way that one worked up. You can scroll to the bottom of my description and you'll see under the materials used, I'll always put in there Crafter's Secret Cotton yarn and then whatever the colorway is, or I'll put it in the description somewhere. I'm going slowly back through all my Etsy listings to make sure stuff like that's in there, because as a person that likes to make things with different types of yarn, I wish people would just tell me what yarn they used. Anyway, the next one that I made was a colorway from Crafter's Secret Cotton again, and I think the colorway is Potpourri Print. I don't know if they're trying to do like a word play on potpourri. We're not going to call it that. We're going to call it confetti, because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like confetti or sprinkles, but I think I'm just going to go with confetti because of all the different colors and things that have run through it. So I really like this one. But yeah, like I have forgotten to show you guys that I work on one of these in the evenings. I'm either working on one of these or I'm reading in my chair at night when I'm just sitting there unwinding for the evening. I will honestly say I'm in a really weird reading slump, so it's been mesh market bags. In the evenings, I will read like maybe almost like 4 or 5 pages for some reason, and then I'm just like, I don't want to do this right now. And I end up working on either my mesh market bag or the blanket that I'm working on. I will eventually show you the blanket. We are in the home stretch of the blanket. I just didn't want you guys to think that I forgot that I told you I was working on that. I know I did. I haven't gotten it finished yet because I don't know. I just like to work on it from time to time. I'm not on a timeline for that one. I'm not on a timeline for any of these things, but these ones just work up so much faster, and I guess you get that little bit of what is like a dopamine hit when you finish a project. So I have a plethora of mesh market bags, and you're probably, I don't know if you'll giggle. I'm giggling because I know that I'm about halfway through another one downstairs in the mango stonewash colorway. I looked in my basket, the color was calling to me, and I was like, sure, we'll put that one together. It'll be great. So I guess look forward to that one soon. But yeah, that's what I've been kind of doing in the evening time when I'm not up here actually recording and doing some stuff. It's just nice to, I guess, I don't know, sit down there and do some things. But like I said, I don't really know what all we're gonna get up to in this video. I feel like I feel like it's honestly going to be just a bunch of clips of me just like, you know, beat bopping around in here just doing various different things because I don't really have a set plan for stuff that I want to work on. I do think that I want to do another mug scarf, and I don't know if I've shown you guys the mug scarves. I think I did. They're up a little high. I don't think that I can reach those without my ladder or without my little step stool. So I don't want to reach up there and like, you know, record a blooper reel. So I'm not going to grab those. Anyway, they're a scarf that I do on the Sentros. They are, I want to say 300 rows long, so they take a little bit. But I roll them up so they look like mugs. And they look like little coffee. Now I feel like I need to show you because I think it would be cooler. Maybe I'll show you them. Anyway, concept-wise, I'm thinking I want to do another scarf. I really hope that my Sentro machine wants to do a scarf. But if we get up to a scarf, I will definitely show you that process. It's basically the same as what we were doing for the hat. You just throw the yarn on. You crank for the inner like mug portion, the drinky looking portion, or the coffee or the matcha, because I have a matcha one and I have a coffee cocoa mixed looking one. You do 220 rows of that, and then you do 80 rows of whatever you want your mug color to be around the outside. And I do those ones on my, I want to say those were done on the 40 pin. Yeah, I think those ones are done in it's been a hot minute since I've done one because I've been doing mesh market bags and hats and headbands. I figured that out this year. The scarves were something that I did probably a year ago, and then the matcha one was probably like 7 or 8 months ago. I know I have a notebook around here with this stuff written in it so that I don't forget, but I don't have it in front of me. So forgive me if I got the recipe wrong for that particular scarf. But the row count's not wrong. The row count's not wrong. I just can't remember if it was the 48 pin or the 40 pin that I did it on. I'm also playing around with doing like a kids mug rug scarf, and I think I could do that one on the 22 pin, but I don't know if the 22 would be too skinny. I'm not sure. But those are my thoughts. That's what I'm thinking about doing. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But I will quit blabbing at you, and I'll show you some more things in the next couple clips of what we'll be actually getting up to. So that's great. That's what we'll do. All right. Anyway, I realized in the last clip that you saw me, I said we were going to make a scarf. Yeah. We're clearly doing that. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. I do know what we're doing. I don't know why I pretend to tell you guys I know what we're going to be doing, and then every time you come into a new clip, we're doing something completely different. Anyway, this will be old news by the time that you see this recording, and you might be used to it already. I'm not sure how often most of you go over and peruse my Etsy store, but here's the thing. I set up a couple things through Printify. Yes, I know, it's print on demand. People feel a certain way about it. But here, I guess I'm trying to justify and prove to you that I can do the thing that I have listed on Etsy. And I'm hoping that I can jazz up those product photos that they, generated that are absolutely terrible. So this is me trying and attempting to show you guys that, yes, I still do make everything here in-house. This is just something I would like to do, but I don't necessarily have the energy to do, if that makes sense. If I had 15 people order all of my, well, I guess it'd be 10 of my tumblers right now, that would be the only thing that I'd be able to do, because I'm using the Cricut mug press, which is for what, like little 8-ounce or 15-ounce mugs. Like, I already have to do it in a different way than everybody else does. And the designs that I have are actually really cool, and I really wanted to put them out, and I've been hoarding them for a long time, so I figured, you know what, screw it, we'll just do the print on demand thing so that you guys can get those products sooner. But this is going to be me trying to justify the process, telling you this is my creative process, that I can still do tumbler, like sublimation on tumblers. I just can't do it at scale, if that makes sense. You will also see a candle on there. That is a long-term dream that I have had for Etsy for a long time. I don't even know if it's for Etsy. You can go and have a hypothetical conversation with my husband, because he'll probably never pop into these blogs. I have a candle maker. Again, I guess I'm trying to justify that it's like, yes, I would love to do these things, and I have a lot of hobbies and stuff that I want to get out there. But again, I'm just one person with only the ability to do so much in a given day or in a given week. So, and I think it's natural for small businesses to eventually, outsource certain things, but I don't think the tumblers are going to make or break it. If you want if you really want a cool tumbler with some dragons on it, they're all book themed. So I got a magic dragon one that I really thought was cool. I have an apothecary potions dark green theme one, and then I have a vintage floral spring book stacky type one, and then I have one that I'm calling a dark romance one because it's just dark, but it's got roses, it's got a cup of coffee in it, and it's got books. So it's all book themed. They're just the skinny 20-ounce tumblers that I have here, but I just decided to quit hoarding the designs that I found. And yeah, I will say I did not design these designs myself. I did not use AI to make them. I paid another creator that made them and paid for the print on demand license to utilize them so that I can make as many products as I want as the end result of it. So I've already paid for this thing, so I've just been holding on to them. That was a very talky portion of the vlog to let you know that I'm gonna attempt to sublimate these tumblers again. And I guess, you know what, we're in the video and this is just the learning process. I don't think this is gonna go very well for me again, because I've already done this twice, which is probably why I didn't ever put these tumblers up. So the first first version of these that I did, because I was so freaking excited to do it, and as you know, when you start a new craft and you do it the first time, yeah, there's a lot of trial and error and practice or whatever, but you can't trial and error and practice on tumblers that are I don't know, 15, 20 bucks a pop. It's really disheartening. So when the first couple sets didn't work out, I did get all 12 of my tumblers on sale. I think I paid, actually, don't even quote me, I don't remember because it's been so long. If I remember, I'll include a little I don't know, asterisk thingy here that's hey, future Ashley did all the work for present Ashley, and she'll tell you. I don't know. But if it's not on there, then we both don't know. It's a mystery. Anyway, so this is that apothecary one that I was telling you about. But you're going to see there is a sublimation image issue right here. It's it didn't get, the transfer didn't get onto the tumbler and get enough heat here to pull it down and to imprint onto the actual tumbler. And then there are certain spots where it's if I really zoom in on, well, maybe it's not going to come up on camera as much as it does in real life. I cut parts of my my transfer the first time to fill in the gaps, but at the bottom I didn't have the right width for this thing. The top, it worked out fine, but if you get really close to the top, you can see that I didn't have a really good seal to it. So and so I don't get discouraged, I'm going to try again. One, because I really do want better product photos than what they have up on the site for you guys right now. I don't like them. So what I'm going to attempt is to do the dragon one again. Oh, let me show you the other one, I guess. The dragon one had the same issue. but I need to, oh, hang on. Let me, I got to keep my treasures together here. Otherwise I'm going to get sad. So that treasure goes there. All right. I just pulled that treasure out. Anyway, this one is, I should have put hair product in. Hair drive me nuts today. Anyway, so this is the dragon. Isn't it freaking cool? And I will tell you, it didn't transfer correctly. So as we turn this in a circle here, I didn't have the right size, so there's a gap. You see that the image didn't actually sublimate on there like it was supposed to. And it just, like, overall right there too. Overall the colors are not coming through. So I think I had a bad seal around the whole thing. And silly me, did not realize this until after I did this. So this is what I'm going to attempt today, is that these tumblers actually came with a like shrink wrap thing to help hold your design on outside of just you using this the heat transfer tape on there. You can actually put this on there, and I plan to do that and use my little, I don't know, heat gun, my little shrinky dink gun. Yeah, my heat gun, and shrinky dink it. Oh, there we go, and shrinky dink it onto the tumbler, and we're gonna see if that goes. Also, as I stated, because I'm utilizing a Cricut mug press, because I don't make enough tumblers to justify me buying one that could actually fit the entire thing in there. And yes, I could probably go downstairs and stick this in my oven, but I don't want to do that. I don't trust it. I'm sure there's a load of YouTube videos out there. It's like, hey, it's actually perfectly safe. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't want to do that because I don't want to ruin my oven. I need it. I'd rather ruin my mug press back here than my oven that I use every day to make dinner. So there's that. Anyway, let me put these treasures away. But again, I guess gosh, words are hard today. The crux of the whole story here is, I guess I'm just justifying the fact that, yeah, I can do the sublimation. I just didn't necessarily have the time to do it, and apparently my brain was not going to go back to working on a scarf today, because it was like, hey, we just did this thing. Why don't we go and try to do this and see if we can actually get some better product photos for the Etsy, because right now those photos don't match the branding that we have for Simply Cozy Treasures. They're just on a white background. That's not us. I don't do white backgrounds. I do marble bottom, faux marble, gray background-ish. You guys have seen it. You know what I'm talking about. And then my fancy little placemat thing. I just need to make it look more like not computer generated, if that makes sense. I just need to make it look like it actually belongs in the world. That's what we're trying to do. So I'm justifying my craft to put it on print on demand to you, so that you don't come for me later and be like, I can't believe you sold yourself out and went for print on demand. I didn't sell out. I'm just having some issues, and I refuse to buy a different sublimator, something to this, the mug press. Gosh, okay. Anyway, I've blabbed at you for a hot freaking minute. It's in like 10 minutes of us not actually doing anything. Let me put my treasure away. Or my tumbler. What do I keep calling it? I like treasure. I got treasure on the brain. I'm going to put this back in the box. I'm going to heat up the mug press. You're probably going to stay at that angle. And then we're going to do the thing. And then hopefully we have success. If we don't, here's the thing. If we don't, because I'm only going to do this once. And I realize I just said that I was going to be done blabbing at you. But we're only doing this once because until I can actually dedicate some time to watching legitimate YouTube video, I guess I'm like legitimate YouTube videos, or some pretty good like how to sublimate using the Cricut mug press for these skinny 20-ounce tumblers the right way, I'm only going to do it once. I am. And another thing that I do have, I don't know if you can see them, I do have the extra little mats to like fill up the gappy space inside the mug press, so it actually makes a good seal, but I'm not convinced. that it's actually going to work. I should have more enthusiasm, or more, I should be more optimistic is the word that I'm looking for. But crafts have not been going well for me this week. As you saw with my Sentro knitting extravaganza. Alright, well, that's where I'm going to end it. I decided to move you so that you could be a part of this process with me. If it works, great. If it doesn't, oh no. Anyway, oh, I just realized, gosh, you'd think that I'd know what I'm doing when I do this stuff. No, where is it? It's this one. My Shrinky Dink heat gun. I gotta plug this in too while my heat press heats up. I shouldn't reach over it while it's heating. It's dangerous. Burn my mugs. Okay. Heat gun ready. Top off. Thingy there. We're good. Alright. We got too much stuff on our desk again. Alright, we're going to cut this. And by all means, if you see something in here that you're like, hey, Ashley, when this does fail, because maybe that'll be the clip you see, and you actually are a pro sublimator, and you have some tips, I guess, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. I'm always willing to improve my craft, as they say. All right, hard part sort of done. Top of Muggy Mug. All right. That's what we're going to do. Tape. Get ready. Okay. Everything. This is going to be a pain in the butt to take off. Alright. Let's do it! Oh wait, I lied. Okay. Again. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt us. Let's find out. We're going to have to do this 4 times. I just want you guys to know, because we got the hack is there's a seam that sits right here. You guys can't see it, but because of the silicone mat that I have in there, it doesn't overlap enough to get a perfect seal on that side. So wherever you pick a point, this one just happens to be where a natural tear point for the shrink wrap was at on the thing that I just put on there. So I'm just using that as my guide, and that should be on the bottom as well. So when I flip it, literally just going to flip it, pull it out, flip it, so that thing is pointing that way the next time. And then when we get it done, I'm going to pull it out and then turn it around. And then that should be good. I always get concerned too because excuse my language, my Cricut mug press, the lights turn off sometimes. I don't know why. So we'll let it go for another minute, and then I'm pulling it because we were just making sure that that side got done too. If you haven't done sublimation before, these are just heat-safe gloves. They're just to make sure that you don't burn your fingers when you pull out, because it's going to be super hot. See, the lights turned off again. I'm concerned. All right, I'm gonna pull it. The lights went out. That's a future Ashley lookup problem. Seriously, place your bets. Do we think it came out? Ooh, okay. I don't want to touch it. All right, not bad. Actually, not. Ooh, I'm pleasantly surprised. Around the top, I think I could have got a little better, but this is what I was talking about. Like, see, if I do the print on demand, you guys won't get products that look like that at the top. But, ooh, that's exciting. But again, would be like an oopsie cup, just because that is not something that I would want you guys to have to deal with. Like, do you see it? So I just got to figure out some better techniques for getting the top, and maybe, I don't know, maybe what I did on the bottom I should have done just to the top, because the bottom came out like perfect. I bet somebody in the comments is laughing at me right now and being like, yeah, you should have done that, you big dummy. But I'm excited about, look at the seam. Oh wait, hang on. Where'd it go? Right there. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm really excited about that. I can take pictures of that and put that on Etsy. That's exciting. And then these ones come with like a little rubber thing on, so you put them on the bottom. So it's grippy. What? Oh, I'm actually really pleased with that. Maybe you'll see me using my new dragon cup. Who doesn't love freaking dragons? Man, I'm going to stick this thing on the bottom. I think I'm going to keep this one. Finders keepers. Or makers keepers. I don't know. Oh, I like this too. I guess I haven't really actually looked at what this actually said on the bottom. It says do not use in the freezer, the microwave, the oven, and stovetop. Hand wash only, BPA free. I do recommend on any sublimated products that you guys do that you do hand wash them. Don't stick them in the dishwasher. Not because I'm afraid that this design's never coming off. Like, that's not going to come off. But I wouldn't want you to accidentally ruin it by doing that. But man, I might have a new craft room mug. Gosh, I'm so excited about that, you guys. We've had a heck of a couple of weeks where stuff just wasn't working. And the thing that you didn't see before I started doing this is that my sublimation printer wasn't working. Because why not? Anyway, that's where I think I'm going to end this really ridiculously long clip. I know it wasn't very exciting, and it's probably not going to be a very ridiculously long clip for you guys because I'm probably going to speed up that portion in the middle. So I am pleasantly surprised, very happy. I'm not saying that I fixed it yet. It's not enough for me to be like, yep, I'm going to start making tumblers and I'm going to be doing that. My whole plan today was just to make one of each of the 4 tumblers so that I could take some better product photos for them for Etsy. So I might, maybe I should have not made another dragon one. I should have done a dark romance one and just used the other ones and then just not shown you guys the back sides of them. I'm just kidding. I will be throwing all this nonsense away. I don't think that I don't think the shrink wrap was supposed to go around it. So I won't do that next time. And then I will just remember to do, like, I don't know, a black line on the, well, no. Yeah, I can do that on the sublimation, the tape. Anyway, that's what's left of it. Cool. All right, I'm done blabbing.